We stared at her incredulously. What did she mean by a twist? Damien was the first to speak up. A twist? A twist? You call killing someone a twist? Ava chuckled.
I mean, you didn't expect it, did you?
So what? Your twist is that if we die in the game, we die in real life? It was Haley that spoke up this time. Ava grinned at her accusation.
Well, look at you! The dumb little one actually has a brain!
Haley struggled against her ethereal restraints and cursed at our captor. What if we don't kill anyone? What if we do nothing? Monica recovered enough control to utter a few shaky sentences.
Well, then you all die. You have to participate. One team has to win. You just gotta be willing to kill your friends to survive.
Those words chilled my bones with the power of 1,000 Arctic nights. To survive, I have to kill people I've known my entire life? A heart-stopping thought entered my mind. My life wasn't in my own hands. It was in theirs. My life could be cut short by one decision. Sweat dripped out of every pore. I could trust nobody, so I have to play it safe. Looking guilty can lead to my demise.
Let's get things back on track. So, who are you voting up to the chopping block?
Ava asked. Her question snapped me back to reality. I don't think we should vote anyone yet, Avery said, since we don't have enough evidence to convict anyone. Most of us nodded in denial. None of us wanted to believe the insane reality we were placed into. Gabe, on the other hand, had a different idea. I think we should whittle everyone down. Keep on voting someone until we finally kill the Mafia. And what? Kill more people than necessary? Damien snapped. God, you're such a jerk. As long as I survive, which of course I will, I'm going to do anything to survive. This raised more arguing and questioning of morals. Gabe was not necessarily right in his beliefs, but if we wanted to leave, we would have to murder. I almost threw up my lunch at the mere thought of homicide. Multiple times, Ava called for our attention, but no attention was given, until she shrieked in an inhuman voice, "Shut up!" The group immediately stopped and quivered in fear at her menacing presence.
Okay, thank you. Everyone go to sleep. Now,
ordered Ava. We relived the cycle of the night. When it became my turn to detect, I chose Jacob. He was uncharacteristically quiet. Usually he was cracking jokes and cracking up. However, he was unnervingly silent. Ava stared at me with her ancient eyes and nodded, her gaze making me shudder. I didn't want to kill Jacob, but I hardened my resolve. I had to save as many friends as I could. He was trying to survive like I was, but I valued my life more right now. My head sank slowly and my eyes shut.
Time to wake up,
shouted Ava. As our heads raised cautiously, she weaved an elaborate story.
The 9 remaining teens woke up with a text from Lillian. It read, "I don't feel good. Go on without me." So they did. They planned to take an Uber to their destination, but there was only 7 people in the car. 2 of them decided to stay behind. One was Mafia. After the van drove off, the Mafia took the other person into an alley and slit her throat.
A scarlet smile opened on Avery's throat. Blood gushed out of the open wound and stained the front of her t-shirt. She toppled backwards and her fresh corpse stared at the ceiling.
Avery was murdered.
I've always seen death depicted in movies, but I never expected a soul to get snatched so suddenly from a body. In a blink of the eye, it dissipated like dew under the rising sun. More sobs arose from the others. Kendon let out a frustrated scream. Why? Why are you doing this, Ava?
Because it's fun to see you guys panic and turn against one another.
His intense glare was so full of hatred, I'm surprised his glasses didn't shatter. Ava raised her hands defensively.
Hey, don't get mad at me. You guys are the ones killing each other. I'm just following orders.
So is it time to kill another person? Huh, Ava? Haley snarked. Damara piped up. I really don't want to do this. This is so messed up. I... A sob escaped her mouth. The cry sounded like a wounded animal wailing for help. I needed to end this as soon as possible, so I played my hand. Jacob has been suspiciously quiet this whole game, I accused. He hasn't said a word, which is not like him. He doesn't seem too upset over the deaths of our friends. He defended. No, that's not it. I'm just shocked right now. It's just so much to take in. But you do seem like you're taking it fairly well, agreed Haley. More back-and-forth conversation of accusations and defense ensued. Eventually, Ava cut us off. So who wants to vote Jacob up on the chopping block? Haley, Kendon, Monica, and I voted for him. Gabe, Damara, and Damien did not.
Do you want to vote for anyone else?
Jacob pointed an accusatory finger at me. She attacked me straight away. That's pretty weird, right? No one listened to his statements. He was already condemned. Please, no! You guys are making a mistake! I'm not evil! It's Bailey! Please! He pleaded. Ava looked at Jacob hungrily. She even licked her lips.
After committing the gruesome act of disposing Avery's body, Jacob began to walk out of the alley. However, his escape was interrupted by a mugger. Desperately, Jacob attempted to run away and then BAM! She roared. I attempted to look away, but I wasn't quick enough. A gaping hole was blown into his forehead, bits of shattered bone and bloody brains flying out. A few chunks splattered onto my face, and I hastily wiped them away. Jacob is dead.
Silence followed. What could we say? Oh, I'm so happy a friend just died. Well, I could see Gabe saying that. Soon after the shock of the carnage wore off, Damara asked timidly, So, what was he? Ava took her sight off of Jacob's body and lazily turned towards her.
Mafia,
she said. She turned back to studying the oozing tunnel in his cranium. Ava was the most disturbing and unnerving part of a very disturbing and unnerving game, and that's saying something. A silence permeated the atmosphere, letting us all sink into our conscience and reflect on our choices. Ava's inspection took a few minutes to complete, and then we were back to being ordered to fall asleep. During the night, I had to investigate again. You would think the repetitiveness would get boring or old, but the rush that comes with uncovering a role always refreshes the thrill of a game. This time, I chose Damara. I had the feeling she was acting like a civilian, but in reality was a Mafia. She was a thespian, so she had experience in assuming different personas. I trusted my gut feeling about Jacob, so I planned to follow my gut feeling about her. A confirmation was given by the slight nod of Ava's head. 2 down, 1 to go. A new day dawned, and the bloody storyline continued.
Wanting to make things quick and easy for themselves, the Mafia decided to get rid of someone who has been on their tail for a while. Later that night at a nightclub, the Mafia member and victim traveled to a secluded corner and started a conversation. When the victim wasn't looking, the Mafia member wrapped their arms around the victim's neck and began to strangle them.
At this moment, my breath started to come in small gasps. It felt like my throat had tightened up. Each breath carried less oxygen into my lungs until none arrived. Choking, I tumbled on the ground. I clawed helplessly at my throat as darkness enclosed my thoughts. The last thing I saw was Ava's irises hungrily staring at me like a delicious meal about to be devoured.